And you started really young in the sports entertainment business, right? I mean, you're the first underage entertainer to get a license in Missouri. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Yeah, in Missouri, the state where I'm from, wrestling, the whole sports entertainment industry is regulated through government. You have to have a license and taxes. And what happened was they wouldn't allow anyone under the age of 18 to perform in a show. And we met with the committee, and I put on a match for him and showed him that I was safe enough and reliable enough to belong inside the squared circle, and that's where I've been ever since.
I have a kind of a curious question. Do you know why it's called squared circle? I mean, it's kind of a paradox, right?
Yeah, it is a bit of a paradox. The squared circle comes from an American folk-style wrestling, which is what they do at a lot of high schools and college, NCAA style. The mat is a mat with a circle. It's a square mat with a circle in the middle, and that's where the action takes place. Mm-hmm. And what we do is we take that kind of action and move it into our squared circle.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because what you do is you drop the spotlight right on top of that ring, and it really creates a dramatic moment. The fans, if WWE Raw is extremely successful in Brazil, which we're hoping it is, the fans really get into it, we might get a chance to bring a WWE live event here, and that is the best way to experience World Wrestling Entertainment. You get to hear the sound, the crack, you get to see the sweat pop off the guys, the fireworks, the music. Everyone loves singing everybody's entrance song. I know you do. So this time you get to sing it while they're coming out live in person. I mean, nothing can top that feeling.
That's amazing news, right? I bet every fan tune in Tuesdays, Esporte Interativo. Yeah?
Yeah, check out Raw. It's going to be great. We're really happy to be here in Brazil.
Cool. Evan, do you have a favorite superstar that you have had a feud with? Can you pick just one?
Well, I think right now the guy I've had a rivalry with since my beginnings in ECW was The Miz. And I bumped into him on Raw quite a bit. We fought over the United States Championship time and time again. And I think no one has pushed him as far as I have. And we had a series of matches until he lost the United States title to Daniel Bryan, and then he went on to win the world title. Well, I'm not going to say I prepared him to become a world champion, but I do think that those matches we had made him realize he needed to step it up to that next level, and he really has. So if there's anybody that I'm looking for when I come back on Raw, it's going to be The Miz.
And he happens to have the title, so that's a plus.
Just a mere convenience, but it would be a personal victory as well as a moral victory.
That's nice. And going way back when you first started, right when you began on WWE, you just got to be on a pay-per-view, right? Cyber Sunday, the fans chose you to go to the ECW title match.
That's one of those things where I have been so lucky to have fan support my whole career, because that was a match that would have never happened if the fans hadn't come out in droves and voted me on. And so I took Matt Hardy on one-on-one for the ECW Heavyweight Championship, which is the ECW title was one that I was in love with since I was a kid. I was a huge fan of Rob Van Dam, Taz, Super Crazy, Tajiri. And in that lineage, I really felt I had to live up to that caliber of match. So when I went out there and wrestled Matt, it was one of the best matches of my career. I'm really happy. I gave it all I had, and I ended up splatting on the airborne instead of crashing into him. So I really hope to be on more pay-per-views this year, and I think that you can count on me being in more pay-per-views in 2011.
We sure hope so. Starting with WrestleMania, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be a great way to kick off my year, believe me.
And you're on the road most of the time when you're not injured. Do you have a travel buddy and stuff like that? Do you travel with someone?
The traveling conditions of a WWE superstar are so perilous. There's so many of us that don't have the same schedules, but our schedules will mesh up for a couple days, so you'll hop in somebody's car for 2 days, and then you can go hop in another car. So I think I've said this before, you'll be hanging with a diva, then you might ride with Hornswoggle, and then you might drive the Great Khali around for a little bit. Literally, the same thing with Raw TV, anything goes. Backstage, anything goes. Any way you can get from this town to this town, you do it.
And the great thing about you is that you're not the biggest guy on WWE. I mean, you're taller than I expected.
I think it's great too that
you're taller than expected, I must say, but you know, comparing to the great Khali and Kane and Big Show, you're not the biggest guy, but you still, you know, with the high flying moves and all that, it's a different kind of show that you put on.
Yeah, well, I always say that there's no height requirement to be an entertainer, and I think what I do translates across the globe. The high-flying, action-oriented style is what I think the fans not only love to watch, they like to replay it and play it again, and I think that's what makes it so fun to watch. And I remember what it was like to sit at home and watch WWE, so I want to give the fans that same feeling that I used to get, but this time I'm delivering the message.
Did you have any WWE superstar, like an idol, when you were growing up?
I like so many guys. I was a huge Ken Shamrock fan, if you can believe that. Definitely love Ken Shamrock. But I was always into Rey Mysterio, Dean Malenko. I was like into cruiserweight wrestlers. Eddie Guerrero was a favorite of mine. But I'm a wrestling encyclopedia at this point, because I didn't just like one kind of wrestling. I liked every kind, and I wanted to know who every single wrestler that's ever been in a ring ever was. And I guess it paid off because I kind of know my stuff now.
Yeah, and you got to tag with Ray and all that. That must have been.
Yeah, tagging with Ray was really fun, and getting to do it on Raw made it more exciting. But I would say one of the best matches I've ever had in my life was when I wrestled against Rey Mysterio when WWE was doing live events in Japan. That match was my childhood dream come true match, where it wasn't just go in there and there was no constraints. We were in Japan where the fans' standard is so high that we really had to bring our A game, and when Ray brings his A game, it brings whatever your A game is up to an actual A game level. And at that point, you know, it was just magic in the ring.
And in Japan, you have a whole history of the Japanese fans, and so it sets the stakes even higher.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. I had a lot to live up to. Anytime you come back to a place, you have to top yourself the time before. So Raw from this week is going to be better than the Raw from the week before, which is better than the Raw the week before, and we're just constantly trying to top ourselves.
Right. And speaking a little bit about Brazil, you just arrived, but on the airport, I understand there were some fans waiting for you.
Yeah, I definitely got a warm welcome when I arrived here. What's nice is the fans at the airport not being too insane. It was just very friendly. It seems like everybody here's got a real relaxed demeanor. Everybody's greeted me with open arms and hugs. You can't beat it.
When I posted on Twitter that I was going to interview, all the fans were like, "Oh, when's he arriving? I want to wait for him at the airport. Do you know what hotel he will be? We
It's so funny your fans sound like that."
But I mean, everybody wants to meet you and meet WWE in general, because they are fans, even though they don't have the show on TV. They have their other means to see it.
Well, I really like how resourceful the Brazilian fans are. It means a lot that they're going out and hunting down WWE entertainment outside of TV. Well, I am doing you a gigantic favor, and that's why I came here.
You bring WWE to our TV. That's the greatest gift ever.
Well, allow me to give it to everyone. Regalo.
Thank you very much.
All right.